Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we're talking with two individuals who are looking to change the New Jersey media landscape with their unique platforms. Tommy Rausch, an artist from Manalapan, runs NJ Guide and is here to tell us about his newest initiative, Animate. But first, Erik Kent and his wife Beth got the idea to launch NJ Wedding while planning their own back in the 90s. Then, NJ Parenting was born, and the dynamic duo continued to publish on both platforms. Here to tell us more is Erik. Welcome to the show.
Hi, welcome. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I am so good, and I'm so glad to be joined here by you because you have been such a cheerleader for this show, other media endeavors throughout my 15-year career, and it's always so appreciated.
Well, it's really been fun to explore New Jersey and media and how we cover New Jersey. And for us, having a couple of the niche markets to cover, whether it's engaged couples, getting married and planning their wedding, or families having children and, wanted to find out what things they can do throughout the year. It's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding.
You are, in my opinion, the trailblazer to this digital age, new media platform, because you were doing it while dial-up was still a thing with NJ Wedding. Take us to the beginning, how this all launched between you and Beth.
I remember it very well. And first, we'll go back a few years when Beth and I met during our sophomore year at Rutgers back in 1990. We fell in love. We got to explore our time together at college, and we spent some time planning our wedding after we graduated. And so we got married in 1994. And during the planning process of our wedding, we, got to meet a lot of the local vendors, and, we had a venue that we enjoyed. And so when the internet kind of came about in 1995, 1996, we were exploring ways to kind of explore it in terms of providing a service. And we took the experience of getting married, and we said, you know what, that's something that couples would enjoy and would have a need for. So we registered and, launched njwedding.com. And we launched it on Valentine's Day, 1997. And, the rest is our journey in developing it, having some fun.
In 1997, how difficult was it to get the DJs, the wedding planners, the photographers on board? Because back then they were promoting themselves through the Yellow Pages.
And that's how we found many of ours in the beginning. But slowly things changed. And I was working in media at the time. I was seeing that newspapers were changing while people were still, using different magazines and newspapers and still do. The internet was taking over as a medium in which people could find things. We had friends that were planning their wedding from Boston in 1995 and looking for the summer of 1996. And we saw them up there, and they were using this little thing called the internet. So we learned. We said, hey, how can we really try to evolve our thinking and how we can create something that would be utilized. But I will tell you that the one thing that we did is we ended up reaching out to all of our vendors who we worked with during our wedding planning. And we said, we have an idea for a website, and would you like to be involved and would like to be listed and participate in the website? And we only heard from one person, and that was our minister, Wayne Owens, who said, Erik and Beth, what is this thing called the internet? And so he was our first client, and the rest kind of evolved. DJs, ministers, different entertainment services, photographers, venues, they all kind of became interested in what we were offering and what was out there. So it was a pleasure to kind of help them evolve their thinking and say, how can we use the internet to promote their business?
And then obviously the rest is history from there, because that's the way of the world today. But you do have other national, international companies now in the wedding space. I mean, it's such a huge industry. How do you differentiate yourselves between the Knot and people like that are also in New Jersey?
We've been doing this for 27 years. Our website, njwedding.com, is still young and still evolving. And we've had competition. We've had others in the space that have come and gone. But most importantly is that we serve our clients in a different way. We take a lot of pride in being, Jersey bred, Jersey centric. Beth and I met at Rutgers. We use the time that we spent around New Jersey to understand the marketplace. It's very important to know that, so that when I'm talking to people in the industry, in the space, in the market, we can help them reach their clientele, help them reach their prospective clients in a way that others don't. And that's what we've been able to do. And we find other ways, like social media, for example, that came around 10, 12 years ago, to use that kind of platform to do some additional marketing, additional exposure, and let them, flourish there.
How do you keep up with the trends?
I study a lot. What's interesting with the marketplace and for weddings is that it's constantly evolving. I personally attend industry conferences and events that are going on throughout the year. I'm meeting people that are experts in their field, and I'm going to bridal shows, wedding expos, planning events, so that I can see it firsthand. That is kind of interesting to me because I'm seeing that, for example, photo booths were not really the big thing 20 years ago, but now you probably can't go to a wedding without seeing a photo booth there. It's become part of the industry, part of the trend that's stayed. And that's just one example, but many trends have come. Some have stayed and some have not. But we try to keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on by understanding, what's in the marketplace at this time, what people are looking for, and then promoting it on our platforms.
And everything we do here in the Garden State, we go big or go home, right? And that definitely includes our weddings, because we have probably some of the most over the top you'll see in the entire country. So we have a reputation to uphold here.
I know that from studying statistics, for example, there are 45 to 50,000 weddings per year in New Jersey. Not all of them are over the top. So only the ones that we see sometimes in the news and in the magazines. But I will say that people can get married any time of the week in New Jersey. There are certain requirements, and we have so many amazing places, for a small wedding, for a mid-sized wedding, or for a large over-the-top wedding. All of our venues, all of our hotspots, but also, on the Jersey Shore, just a small beach wedding or wedding at a restaurant or a gazebo in a park. So they come in all shapes and sizes, and we love all of them.
You know what wedding fascinated me over the past year that happened in New Jersey? Because it was A-list, but intimate.
Yeah.
Jack Antonoff's wedding? That was a fascinating one. What are your thoughts on that one?
I was following that, and it was interesting because Taylor Swift was there, and a lot of other celebrities. So I've spent a lot of time in LBI specifically for wedding events. Like, I've gone to many of the venues. It's definitely a really cool and chill vibe in Long Beach Island. And I've gone to the Wedding Roadshow, which is a wedding planning event that the Long Beach Island Southern Ocean County Chamber runs. And I've had a chance to see really that these venues are really just fun and relaxed, and I can see why they chose that spot. I know that they're from New Jersey and they wanted that kind of a feel, and obviously they're celebrities, so the guests were entranced and they wanted to see their favorites. So it got a little bit out of hand, I think, in terms of the traffic, and that's what happens in the summer in Long Beach Island. But it's still a very it was actually, I read actually subsequent to that event that the couple, Jack Antonoff and his wife, just reflected on how great the event was, how just perfect, how it was just them. And ultimately, I think that's what it's all about when it comes to celebrating, to getting married to your person that you love, to have a wedding that celebrates that love, and in the place that you want to have it, whether it's on the beach, in LBI, or anywhere along the shoreline, in the mountains, at local venues, at local restaurants, hotels, whatever speaks to the client in terms of getting their, expressing themselves through their wedding.
So Erik, first comes love, then comes marriage, Then comes the baby and the baby carriage, so the poem goes. And as life evolved, so did your media offerings. Tell us how NJ Parenting was born.
We got married, and 5 years later, we had our first child. We were in the throes of building our business, of course, and 3 years later, we had our second child. And then we kept on building our business in the wedding, njwedding.com. And then 3 years later, we had our third child. And so one of the benefits of building our business, I will say, is having the ability to grow that business and build it while having our children and raising our children, raising our family together. So as much as we wanted to expand, we really, njwedding.com kept us pretty busy for many, many years because it was evolving. But we always had in the back of our mind another website that we can create to maybe share our experience as parents. Others would ask, you do this website which shows, weddings and other special events for weddings and showers. How about a website for bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, quinceañeras, baby showers, other milestone events for families? And so about 5 years ago, we launched njparenting.com. And we had some venues that do weddings that also do milestone events, start to participate. And we started to learn about New Jersey as a marketplace for families, and we started to learn about tourism and how people go down the shore for the summer. And so we wanted to incorporate a lot of those type of things into this new website with events, with services, with venues for milestone events. And it really kind of started to grow seamlessly. And so now we've been able to grow both websites, manage them, and kind of use the knowledge of New Jersey to find new collaborations, to explore new ideas, and highlight everything that New Jersey has to offer.
And we have so much to offer. By the way, building a business with babies, that's a whole other full segment that we can do because man, is that challenging, but super rewarding at the same time, of course. But let's talk about New Jersey, though, as a marketplace. We're sandwiched between New York and Philadelphia, and I think why you and I have connected over the years is because we're both trying to bring the attention here, right? We both know that there's such a huge gap. We're widely underserved. What are your thoughts on the state of media in New Jersey and how we can just grow more?
That's a fantastic question, and it's something that I again study and learn about anytime there's an opportunity to learn about what goes on in New Jersey when it comes to efforts, people's marketing efforts, people's things that they're building to attract various markets into New Jersey. For example, in the last several years, we've gotten more involved in New Jersey tourism. And I've had the pleasure of attending and being a member of the New Jersey Tourism Industry Association, and man, have I learned so much about the state and as a marketplace, as a place where media comes to cover it. To be honest with you, Lisa, as much as I enjoy New York and Pennsylvania, and know that there's so many things to do there, I really just feel that New Jersey has so much going for it, and it's constantly evolving. Whether we learn about, new exciting destinations, and to learn about all the people that are involved in making New Jersey, a great state, a place to settle. And that's another thing is that we've lived here. I grew up here, went to college here, met my wife here. We had our children here. We went through they all went through all the elementary schools and high schools, and now they're off in college. My interest in tourism led to learning about New Jersey as a destination. For example, the American Revolution is celebrating 250 years in 2026. And there are so many efforts right now around New Jersey, from historical venues to others and organizations that cover that, to bring people to New Jersey to learn about history. And that's fascinating to me. It's another way of learning that's out there, and people are really working hard to present it. So ultimately, New Jersey there's no other place to go necessarily, and you can really cover